It's been a really long time since I played VGC on the channel, but it's time. We're bringing it back. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet VGC. Let's do it. All right, for those who don't know, I actually used to be quite the VGC player. Like, I'm not anything super special, but before the pandemic happened, I was actually traveling. I was doing like locals, I was going to regionals, all this stuff. The last event I attended was the regional championships in St. Louis, and I actually top cut the regional. I came in top 16 out of a couple hundred people, so I was doing it. And then the pandemic happened, and then I kind of stopped playing VGC and then kind of focused on other things.
The Alestrals.
But I'll be real, I've kind of been a little bit addicted lately. I have about 100 plus games on Pokemon Showdown. I'm still very rusty, but we're gonna have some fun. So I think the biggest thing is if you guys want to see more VGC on the channel, hit that like button, show some love. Let me know that you guys want to see this. We're gonna be using teams from you guys, so if you have like codes or anything, you can tweet them at me. You can send them to @adrive_TK on Twitter. Just send me like the codes and what the team is or whatever, like this little picture here. This video and kind of starting this series off, I'm actually gonna be using a team by Ryota Otsubo, who is a world champion. I actually took this team straight from Cybertron, I'm not even gonna lie, but it was from Ryota, and it's a really fun team. I've been using it a lot. Basically, the idea behind it is FARIGIRAF is incredible setting up Trick Room because of its ability Armor Tail, basically stopping those fake outs from preventing its Trick Room setup. And then you have Hariyama to protect you with fake out and deal massive amounts of damage with Guts and Flame Orb, boosting its attack and just hitting so hard. And then you send out the Torkoal, right? And Torkoal can terastallize into fire and fire off big eruptions, or it can just simply fire off choice specs damage. You've got some other really cool pieces like an Assault Vest Dragonite, which can tear it into normal to hit harder with extreme speed. You've got the Meowscarada with Overgrow, which is really good with that Focus Sash and Flower trick. And then Safety Goggles, Defiant, King Gambit, which can deal a tremendous amount of damage as well with Dark Terra type. So that's gonna be the team I'm rocking. And again, I'm a little rusty here. I haven't actually like done any online games or anything. So let's borrow this team and let's make it happen. All right, so you can see I'm like beginner tier, like rank 0, starting right out the gates. Nope, that is not what I wanted. I want to go to my rental teams. There it is. Okay, there's the team I like to grab. Let's do it. I'm actually quite excited for this. If you guys haven't like followed the channel, I did some series in the past where I would do like ooh, AI Professor, let's do that. Where I would do like Road to Master with bug types, or I would do like Road to Master, whatever. So this one, I'm just gonna be playing VGC, just like using whatever, using your guys' teams. So again, send me your teams. So this is a, looks like a little bit of rain action here. I think the biggest threat is probably, potentially that Sableye. I don't think they stop my Trick Room though, so I think we just kind of go straight up with the strats right now, which is the FARIGIRAF Hariyama lead. Then you bring the Torkoal to counter the weather, because Torkoal absolutely runs them if they don't have weather up. And then I probably just need something for the Dreadnought, which could be like Shell Smash Terra. It's probably like, it could be like Terra Grass, which is what I was actually running personally. So that makes me want to bring, I kind of want to bring Meowscarada, but it does get walled in a few scenarios. So actually maybe King Gambit would be better just because of the priority Sucker Punch. I don't think Dragonite's doing much for me here. So I think I go King Gambit. I really want to bring Meowscarada, but I don't think it's the answer. I don't think it's the answer. So we'll just lock that in, and we'll see how it goes. This team's been really fun, though. I feel like FARIGIRAF is actually really, really fun to use. It deals pretty decent damage with Throat Spray Hyper Voices. You could terastallize into normal and hit even harder with your Hyper Voices. We have to be mindful that Pelipper does get Wide Guard. That's something that could pretty much mess us up here if I make some mistakes or whatever, right? Like, I feel like that's a threat. But again, we also have to remember, like, we are super low on the ladder, right? Like, we're at the very beginning of the ladder. When I was playing Showdown over the last, like, couple days or whatever, just to kind of get comfortable, I guess, with the format, I got to about, like, top, I would say, like, just outside of top 500, because I think I was high 1600s at one point, which was, like top 500. So that's where I was, you know, yesterday or whatever. Mostly with this team, too. I feel like this team's good, but I also think that, like, the high ladder is now ready for this team. You know what I'm saying? So here's a situation where, you know, Giraffe here pretty much walls Sableye, right? Like, Sableye's gonna want to burn stuff. It's gonna want to go for, like, Quash and things like that. I think I'm just clicking Fake Out here against this Dreadnought, and then I think I'm just clicking Trick Room. I don't see any reason why that's not the play here, because I don't think Sableye can do anything because of FARIGIRAF's effect. So, not sure what happened. Did the game crash? Okay, well, the move actually happened. That was a really long delay. Fake Out doesn't work because of FARIGIRAF's effect, so it seems my opponent did not know that, which again is not like super surprising, right? Like FARIGIRAF has 3 abilities that could be utilized. So that does mean I get my very nice Trick Room off. My Flame Orb does activate. It does activate Hariyama's Guts effect. And now we're in a situation where like I can just fire off a close combat into the Dreadnought, and I can also fire off a Hyper Voice. I do not care about this Sableye in the slightest right now. I think I'm just gonna Hyper Voice and activate my Throat Spray. So, oh, is it just a pause right now because my opponent is thinking? Does it really not pan around the field? I'm gonna be honest, this is my first Wi-Fi battle. I've already expressed my distaste, not to be a hater, but he can't Will-O-Wisp me. I've already expressed my kind of distaste in the sense that like, I do feel like it's a pretty significant step down from, my Hyper Voice isn't gonna work now, from kind of the stadiums that we had previously. I guess it's not the end of the world, but I really did appreciate, it makes me appreciate even more the stadiums we had in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and how like the camera was floating around, the Rotoms were floating around, you had these different awesome stadium angles, you had the crowd in the background cheering. Like, I don't know how you go from that to this, I just don't know, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so here comes Pelipper, so this is the rain. Hariyama's definitely threatened here, right? Like, Hurricane's definitely a problem. To me, this is an easy situation though, where I just go Torkoal, because even like, his play is probably Hurricane into Hariyama, which means Torkoal probably takes a Hurricane, but it's also possible he misses. And it keeps my Hariyama safe because I feel like getting Fake Out back is really good, and it's gonna force the Pelipper out as well, which to me is valuable. So we're just gonna go for the Hyper Voice here. He may Wide Guard. I highly doubt that though. His play, in my opinion, is definitely Hurricane. And you know, there's a chance that he misses his Hurricane as well, right? Like, it's very possible that he doesn't even hit it, especially with the Sun Up. He loses that accuracy. So Sableye actually going for Snarl. Okay, so that's a good play. So had my opponent been doing that kind of from the beginning, they probably would have put me in a much worse spot. Hyper Voice does come off. I'm gonna activate my Throat Spray, which is gonna nullify that Snarl. And you can see that's like pretty solid damage from FARIGIRAF. Really not that bad. And then let's see if it is the Hurricane. It's gonna be the Tailwind, which I'm quite surprised to see the Tailwind. But that's a-okay. I'm in a situation where we can Erupt, and honestly, like, there's a big part of me that wants to Terrasilize Erupt, but I'm just gonna regular Erupt here. And then I actually think I just Hyper Voice again, because Sableye is gonna go first, but it's honestly not that big of a deal. I'm still gonna deal some good damage, and we're probably forcing the Pelipper out anyway. So I'm kind of burning my Trick Room turns, but this is the kind of game where I feel like I can set up Trick Room multiple times anyway. So it's King Gambit. So King Gambit's about to take an Eruption here. So this is where this ends up being really good for us, because we're just gonna destroy the King Gambit. I guess I misplay again on the Hyper Voice, but honestly, like, that's so worth, because I totally cleared the King Gambit, and now Pelipper's got to come out, and he's gonna Snarl again. But again, I'm not like too concerned about that. Pelipper's not really like the hugest threat. I think for me, the priority now is like, how do I get rid of that Sableye? But I can very easily win the weather now by simply switching Torkoal out here. So the problem is I got to switch out into King Gambit, but the benefit is if he Snarls again, I actually get a boost on that. So let's just go straight King Gambit. I might be taking a Hurricane here or some sort of a water move, but it's not to the end of the world. And then I do want to actually just check status on Trick Room. So Trick Room is on its final turn, right? So like, this seems like an opportunity for me to protect on my FARIGIRAF, and really not lose anything by doing so, in my opinion. Just in case, because I am going to want to get that Trick Room back up. It's going to kind of solidify the win with Torkoal if we can do that. So King Gambit comes out. Again, less than optimal, but to me, I think if I win this weather, it's good. He's probably going to Terrasilize his Pelipper into water. No, he's gonna go Sableye into what? Dark. Interesting. Okay. I can see that. I mean, I guess now my Hyper Voice hits, which is better. But like, FARIGIRAF is nullifying so much of what he's doing just by existing. And here comes the Snarl, and that's actually just gonna give me a buff on my King Gambit, which makes this, it's gonna make this Sucker Punch really hurt is what's gonna happen. Because it's gonna do like no damage. I'm gonna drop Special Attack, Defiant's gonna kick up, I'm gonna get 2 attack. It's just like, what did this Pelipper go for? Hydro Pump. So this may actually just straight up one-shot me though. We're gonna hang on. That's huge, actually. And our Trick Room does end. So now I feel like we Sucker Punch. The Sableye has to attack. I think I Sucker Punch the Pelipper, and then I think we just click Trick Room again, and then we win with Torkoal coming in Eruption. Unless he's Wide Guard Pelipper. That would be the one scenario, in which case I kind of choke the game if this Sucker Punch doesn't work out right now. But I don't think Sableye has any other attacking moves outside of Snarl. Maybe Foul Play, but we've seen Willow, we've seen, I don't know if it was Taunt, but Pelipper is just gonna get rocked here with the Sucker Punch, and Trick Room's gonna activate. The Sableye is only able to Snarl, we're presuming. Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is gonna be in the bag. So, pretty good game for us, bringing Torkoal against, bringing Torkoal against a rain team. But you can see, like, simply by just gaining the advantage there, you're able to kind of just put in the work. So, we're in a situation where I just Sucker Punch every time here. I actually don't know the speed tiers very well of where Sableye would land with this Snarl. I haven't been paying a ton of attention. Oh, he had Tailwind anyway, right? So, like, that's a whole nother thing. So, I'm just gonna Sucker Punch him, and then because he changed his type, I'll show off our Terrasilize. Actually, no, we're just gonna... Yeah, I don't even want to waste the time doing the Terrassil animation. Like, this game's over. I don't see how we lose at this point. Yeah, Sucker Punch will seal the deal. Perfect. Very nice start for us. Okay, well, we got the first one off the Schneid. GG's to my opponent there. I think the biggest thing was I basically got 2 free turns early game because of their, kind of lack of awareness, I guess, of what FARIGIRAF did, which is fine. I also am going to need to take a better picture if we're going to be doing this series because I'm just using that default UVA Academy here. But let's snag another one. Nice dubs. All right, we got another game here, so let's see how this one's going to rock out. They've got an interesting team with some dancing shenanigans. So Flamigo and Oricorio looking to dance, and Quiver Dance as well. So it seems like there's double dancing shenanigans. Getting up Trick Room here is really, really good in my mind. So I think we just kind of stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. I'm also thinking like, I want to have Dragonite with potential Terra at the end. Zombie Tantrum's good for Mana Zone, right? Like, having that priority could be really good in case things go horribly wrong and they start setting up a bunch. We have a little bit of bulk there, and we have the extreme speed possibility. So we're going to try to hold on to our Terra type until we get a better understanding of how this game's going to play out. Because I haven't faced this team or anything like it. I have faced Volcarona a few times. Can be very scary, can redirect with Rage Powder, can hit really hard with, Heat Waves and stuff, especially if it Terras. It can often Terra into grass. And then like Giga Drain and stuff, get a lot of health back. So those are some things to be really mindful of. So we're gonna see the double shiny Oricorio Volcarona lead here. To me, the big play is like, don't let the Volcarona set up, right? So like fake out Volcarona and then Trick Room, to me feels like the right play. I don't know if Oricorio has something to stop me here. And I don't care about Flame Body. So let's see. So Tailwind. So actually this is a really good turn for us, all things considered, because it does guarantee the Trick Room. The thing is, I can't stop the dancing, right? Like, I can't stop them Quiver Dancing right now. So I think, like, my play is close combat's gonna hurt whatever I hit, but so is knockoff. So I'm kind of thinking we knock off into the Volcarona and then just Hyper Voice and hit both. That feels like a good play. Because if the Volcarona gets to dance, then the Oricorio gets the benefit of it. But we actually just straight up knock it out. I think it's easy sometimes to forget. First of all, Volcarona's like really frail, but it's very easy to forget that the whatchamacallit. Okay, so good damage there. Throat Spray is gonna give us that boost. It's definitely an offensive Oricorio. He might Air Slash Hariyama here. But I'm saying it's like so easy to forget how strong Hariyama actually is. He's gonna Revelation Dance Fire, I think. That did a lot actually, more than I thought it was gonna do. But Guts plus just like offensive moves from Hariyama are insane. Like my dude's rocking like 120 base attack and then just basically gets a choice band boost from Guts with like no drawback, right? He's so good against a lot of things too, like really strong against, kind of dealing with like Amoonguss and stuff too. So now I have to deal with Azumarill, which can very easily go for like a pretty powerful attack against me. My thought is actually I'm just hitting the Azumarill as hard as I can. And I'm thinking I actually just close combat the Azumarill and just Hyper Voice. Because if I get Torkoal in at any point soon, it's good. And my opponent's actually just gonna forfeit. So in that situation, I don't mind if Azumarill knocks out Hariyama because if I'm able to hit it with close combat, I'm probably doing like half, if not more. And I just put him out of belly drum range, right? Like I'm keeping him from setting up, which would be the one thing that could potentially cause issues in that fight. So we'll take our second win and we'll just grab the next one. I made it to rank 2, yeah! All right, we got a game against Dweeb. See what's Dweeb got. Okay, so this is like a pretty standard team we're seeing right now. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but generally you've got a few things going for you. You've got the Goldengo going for like Nasty Plot, Make It Rain. You've got the Murkrow, obviously setting up Tailwind, having Taunt, things like that. So I have a general idea of how this is gonna go. I think it really does go with Torkoal though. Like I feel like Torkoal's still really good here, even with things like the Garchomp to worry about. So I'm gonna kind of stick to that same strategy we use. I do feel like Kingambit has a lot of value here. Just because I think the Torkoal comes and then it's like, from there I think you're either bringing Kingambit or you're bringing maybe Dragonite, potentially, because Dragonite could be really strong in this fight. Especially in like the late game, but only if you save the Terra for it. So I'm kind of leaning, because I hate Amoonguss. Kind of leaning towards Bisharp here, honestly. Because I feel like my opponent definitely brings Amoonguss. And then brings one of Garchomp, Hydreigon. We'll see. I mean, normally this, like, when you're facing Trick Room, you obviously have like a different strategy than what you would normally run out. Like this person probably will bring like Murkrow Goldengo a lot of the time, or Murkrow Garchomp. But because it's Trick Room, they might want to run something different. So it is gonna be Murkrow Goldengo. So I think the thing here for me is like, I always just like fake out and then Trick Room, I think. I may have to deal with a Nasty Plot here, but I don't think so. And Murkrow can't taunt me, so I think we're fine. Like, I'm pretty sure this is what you do here. Because Murkrow can, like, haze. Murkrow can, like, do a couple different things. But he is going to flinch. So, does he Nasty Plot? Yeah, he's just going to Nasty Plot. Okay. So, we may have to make a read here, right? Like, I think there's a situation right now where we have to say, okay, does this Goldengo Terrasilize into Steel right now? And if so, do we close combat it? But even if he does do that, do I care, right? Like, do I actually care if he does that? Because I can very easily just close combat into the Murkrow, or I can even just wide guard. Like, we can just wide guard here. I kind of like that play. Because then I can Hyper Voice into Shadow Ball. Let's actually do that. It's a little bit of a different play than I would normally make, but it protects us against a Make It Rain here, which I think he's going to want to go for. Like, I don't think you double Nasty Plot. I'm curious if he wants to Terrasilize. He actually Tailwinds even though Trick Room's up, but it's probably because he doesn't have a ton he can do. And I am going to Hyper Voice, which will hit the Murkrow and give me a special attack boost. I was really concerned he was going to Terrasilize Steel, which is the only reason why I decided to Wide Guard instead of attack. But let's see. Does he just Make It Rain? He does Make It Rain, so we block that. So Make It Rain, one of the strongest moves in the game, 120 base power. We just shut down his like best attack, right? So that's really dope. I don't want to get hit with a Make It Rain again. I feel like there's a world where he probably doesn't do it again. So I think, like, I mean, maybe he does it again. I mean, what's my downside of just clicking Wide Guard as well? Again, just stopping it from happening in the first place. I also don't want to waste all my turns of Trick Room here without, like, getting offensive pressure on. So I do kind of want to just knock off. And then I think I'm going to Shadow Ball as well into the Goldengo. He actually taunts, but it doesn't work. So I'll at the very least get rid of the Goldengo here. Because knockoff plus Shadow Ball definitely KOs. Yeah, I just get the KO anyway. So I probably could have Hyper Voice there. I just was trying to cover the Terrasilize there. One of the things when you're using Trick Room, it's very important to remember is your turns are limited, right? Like, getting Trick Room off is a really big win. This Murkrow does nothing to me, so honestly, it's not a bad thing to keep it on the field at this point. You know, you have very limited turns, so you have to make sure you're getting the most out of those turns, and sometimes that comes down to, like, making a prediction. Like, I was really close to close combating the Goldengo, right? Which would have been a dumb play, but if he Terrasilized Steel, then it looks like a brilliant play. So my opponent didn't do that. I think that's a situation where, like, you just don't know kind of what the level of playability is. This is a scenario where, like, my play 1,000,000% is just Hyper Voice and close combat. Garchomp's best thing to do right now is probably Terrasilize Water, or just Earthquake. But, so I could Wide Guard to protect against that, but like close combat plus Hyper Voice definitely KOs. And like the close combat alone just KOs. If you have not tried Hariyama yet, guys, I'm telling you, this thing is absolutely bonkers, dude. Like absolutely bonkers. It's so strong. It does so much damage. And it just puts on a clinic, dude, to be honest. And this Hyper Voice will clean up this Murkrow as well, which most Murkrow right now are running Foul Play. So if you're like watching this and you're just like so confused, why is someone running Murkrow? So Murkrow is the only Prankster Tailwind user in the game right now. Previously that was run by Whimsicott in previous games, but Whimsicott's not in the game. So it's Murkrow with Prankster Tailwind. So it boosts the speed of the team for a couple turns. Wait, it showed the Garchomp was still there. That was actually wild. We just close combat and Hyper Voice again. I could Terrasilize Hyper Voice here. There's really no downside. I'm just gonna do it because we haven't done it yet. I haven't Terrasilized yet. I might as well Terrasilize the Girafarig for the FARIGIRAF for the thumbnail, right? It's gonna look sick though. Look at him. That actually looks so good. A little diamond. There it is. Go on, buddy. So close combat. He's not even gonna get to attack, is he? No, he's not. But yeah, Murkrow's running like Haze, Taunt, but it usually has Foul Play, right? It usually has Foul Play, but maybe this person was just running straight up Murkrow. I think that was a rental team anyway, though. Like, I'm pretty sure he had taken a rental team, so, because I've seen that team a bunch of times now on the ladder. So, I think that's that, man. I think this is a good showcase. Got our little feet wet, obviously. I'm at the beginning of the ladder. We're gonna have tougher games ahead, but if you want to see more of this, if you want to see this series happen on the channel, let's get it, man. Show some love, hit that like button down below, and big shouts to Cybertron, who I took the team from, and Ryota Atsubo, the world champion. Sorry, I'm saying your name wrong. It's me. Love you though. Thank you so much for the team, and I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys can grab the link from the beginning of the video, and if you want to see more Road to Master Rank, let me know. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.